Good morning, students. Today I am going to tell you about the third chapter from Hornbill. It is for class 11. What is the name of the chapter that you must know? The name of the chapter is Discovering Tut. The saga continues. It is the first video in which I will tell you about the author as well as the summary, the main events and the characters that you can know all about it. So, children, you will pay more attention to listening to the Discovering Tut, the saga continues. Here you must be surprised that what is the meaning of Tut. Actually, Tutankhamen was the king, one of the greatest kings who died very young in Egypt. Here, what is the meaning of saga? Saga means a long story about an event over a period of many years. The time when this very narrator, not the narrator, wrote this tells us about the story of two times. It tells about the story of 1920s as well as the 1960s, 70s. So you will understand when this very king died, he was only 13 years old. As you know, the Egypt is a land of pharaohs, and the land of pharaohs, how he died, how rich they were, and how their bodies were buried in the graves, you will be surprised to know. Really, this discovery has opened the eyes of many of us. So let us know all about it. It is the picture of the author of Discovering Tut. The saga continues. Really, he is E.R. Williams, who has authored so many books and spent so many years in writing. He has opened a company of machinery, electrical machinery, and he is also the author of this very story. E.R. Williams developed a love for reading at a very young age, and in the fourth grade, when an assignment to write their own works of fiction was given, it occurred to him that he could craft tales for others to enjoy, and so he just worked for that. E.R. Williams' work has appeared in Heroic Fantasy, Quarterly, Three Crow Press, and Everyday Fiction. E.R. Williams received an honorable mention in the fourth quarter of the Writers of the Future contest in 2010. He is really a great lover of writing. Such a writer is a milestone in the contribution of the development of literature in English. You must know what is the role of science and technology in the discovery of Tut. Egypt's famed king Tutankhamun suffered from a cleft palate and club foot likely forcing him to walk with cane and died from complications from a broken leg acce- exacerbated by malaria. According to the most extensive study ever of his mummy, the findings were from 2 years of DNA testing and CT scans on 16 mummies, including those of Tutankhamun and his family. The team that carried out the study said in an article to be published Wednesday in the Journal of the American Medical Association. It also established the clearest yet family tree for Tut. The study said his father was most likely Ekta-nen, the Pharaoh means king who tried to revolutionize ancient Egyptian religion to worship one god while his mother was a still unidentified sister of Akhenaten. So it was the problem that who became Pharaoh at the age of 10 in 1933 BC, ruled for just 9 years at a pivotal time in Egypt's history. Pivotal time. While a comparatively minor king, the 1922 discovery of a tomb filled with stunning artifacts, including the famed golden funeral mask, made him known the world over. Here you will know a speculation had long swirled over why the boy king died at such a young age. A hole in his skull long fueled speculation he was murdered until an X-ray scan in 2005 ruled that out, finding that the hole was likely from the mummification process. The scan also uncovered the broken leg. Now I am going to tell you about the curse. What was the curse that the people have to bear? A cobra killed Howard Carter's pet canary after the discovery of King Tut's tomb. It was the first curse. Lord Carnarvon, the person who funded the dig of King Tut's tomb, died shortly after the discovery due to a mosquito bite which turned into an infection. At that exact moment, the lights in Cairo mysteriously went out. Lord Carnarvon's dog howled and dropped dead at 2 in the morning when Carnarvon died. What is interesting is that Howard Carter lived a decade after this major discovery. Nothing happened to him. Howard Carter was a British archaeologist who discovered Tut's tomb in 1922. After years of his futile research, its contents remain the richest royal collection ever found. They include extremely attractive artifacts in gold as well as everyday things like board games, a bronze razor, linen and undergarments, cases of food and wine. Once again, you must know the things. Board games, a bronze razor, a line and undergarments, cases of food and wine. Howard Carter, who was an archaeologist from Britain, recorded the Pharaoh's funeral treasure. He discovered three nested coffins. The first one was found with garlands of willow and olive trees. Here, wild celery, lotus petals, and cornflowers. Really, you must understand this. What were there? Garlands of willow, olive trees, wild celery, lotus petals, and cornflowers. These things prove that he was buried in the month of March or April. Carter ran into trouble when it is the mummy. What was that? The ritual legends that had been used became hard and it was cemented. So the gold coffin in which he was found, his dead body was found, solidified and it was removed with the help of chisels. The mummy was cut free. Carter's men removed the mummy's head and several nearly every major joints. So, once they had finished, they reassembled the remains on a layer of sand in a wooden box with padding that concealed the damage. Conceal means hid the damage. Scientists found it resting there. Then who came? Jahi Hawass. Jahi Hawass, the Secretary General of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities, Secretary General of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities observed that the mummy was in every bad condition because of what Carter had done in 1920s. Here, I mean to tell you that archaeology changed a lot during the few decades, and so what was done, professor of anatomy in 1968 used the sophisticated tools including the medical technology and revealed a very startling fact. What was that? The breastbone and front ribs were found missing, but CT scanning, when applied, then the two questions were discovered. How did he die and how old was he at the time of his death? So, when the scanning was in progress, they just found something. Wow, what did they do? They climbed a ramp and a flight of stairs into the swirling sand outside. The sand started to move furiously due to the strong wind. Then they rose on a hydraulic lift into a trailer. This trailer held the scanner. Initially, there was some problem because of sand in a cooler fan. Then the technicians scanned the mummy head to toe. How many digital x-rays were taken? 1,700 digital x-ray images in cross sections were created and Tut's head was scanned in 0.62 millimeter slices. 0.62 millimeter slices to register its complicated structure. In this way, Tut's entire body was recorded. These specialists did radiology, forensics, and anatomy, and they discovered that neck vertebra appeared quite clearly, and several views of the rib cage and narrow cross section of the skull was found. In this way, Jahi Hawass had a smile on his face lastly. So, thank you, children. I will tell you the rest in the next videos. Thank you.